Gilchrist, www.L.G.Fitness-Messiah.com is my website. Today is the 13th or the 12th. I kind of lost my days. I wrote a blog on my blog earlier, and I posted it on my social media, Facebook, and to my secret group about protein consumptions and the different levels of protein consumptions. So I want to just kind of elaborate on it a little bit. So if you understand how proteins work, how they're broken down in the body, and that different animals or vegetables or nuts or even some fruits have different levels of protein. Some of it can be absorbed efficiently, some of it can't be absorbed efficiently. Some things are complete proteins, some things are not complete proteins. Protein absorption and protein intake, as far as like from a muscle standpoint, is based on a few things. The first thing that's really important is bowel movement and how regular you are. Your intestines is where, your small intestines is where everything is absorbed, from the fats to the carbohydrates to the amino acids, because that's what the proteins are broken down into. So your intestines and your organs and everything has first dibs on that protein, along with brain function, connective tissue, neurotransmitters, and other things of that particular nature. So when you're consuming protein, you may not actually be getting all that protein going towards muscle or going towards the bones have a priority over it. So neurotransmitters, your intestines have priority over it, and your digestive tract and how well your digestive tract has a say-so of how much protein your body can uptake or intake and utilize, especially in a lean or a muscle building principle, or if it's going to be converted to acetylcholine and then converted into glycogen and then glucose and other sugars. So if you have those things pretty much under control and you're pretty regular, then you're talking about the intake of protein. Now they say, and I've heard so many things over the last 30 years from bodybuilding, and I've had done so many different experiments with people. They say you want 1 to 1.5 grams of protein per body weight. Then they say you want 2 grams. I heard either so high as 3.1. Then I heard it as low as 0.7 grams. Now, the difference in between those things, and that's very true, and I've experienced it with clients and with myself, and I've done many of the experiments and followed many of research on the protein intake. So the difference between those things is, if you are a lean, muscular person, or an athlete, or a dieting bodybuilder who's fairly lean and trying to get leaner into the single-digit % body fat, you will need to increase your proteins. The reason why you're increasing your proteins, and you probably can increase your fats and not your proteins too, is because of your body will eat itself, and you don't want your muscle protein. You would rather have dietary protein and amino acids being utilized or converted into energy than your muscle protein being broke down, because then that's counterproductive. As a conditioned, well athlete, if you're a high level athlete, yes, you want to take in more protein. Your consumption may be as much as 2.73 grams, 2.5, because for one, you are usually probably doing explosive, especially football, basketball, and other things like that, explosive movements. You have atrophy because you have pounding if you're constantly hitting the road. That's why marathon runners look so thin or look the way that they do, or their muscles is broken down because of the atrophy of the pounding. Then you have energy and ATP output, acetylcholine, and an anaerobic principle to your body in the way that your body is building. So more protein will be suitable for you, for the pounding, for the protein of recovery, for the neurotransmitters. You have more neurotransmitters firing off, so protein is definitely going to be more beneficial to you, because you have more neurotransmitters firing off, and that's what neurotransmitters are made out of protein, to tell your body to move this way, faster here, faster there, faster there. The more neurotransmitters, the faster your body can move. So that was going to be important for you. Now, if you're obese, or you're a person that is dieting down, and that is like 350, 400 pounds, 500, 600 pounds, and I'm just throwing numbers out there. But now you have to calculate your lean body mass. Now your weight is not as significant to the amount of protein consumption that you would take in, for the simple fact that you could be 60%, 70%, over 50% body fat. And so you're not counting the fat because it is just an adipose tissue and you're trying to get rid of it, so you're not counting that to your total body mass or your leanness. Now you may feel like you want to count that to your total body mass because of your appetite or your gluttonous behavior or whatever it is that got you to that degree of wherever it is at that particular point. But I tell big people all the time, if you are 300 pounds and you are 50% body fat, to me you are 150 pounds carrying a whole bunch of baggage. You're still little. No matter how big you are, it depends on how lean your muscle tissue to body fat percentages that tells your true weight, bone density, and everything else like that. So if you are 300 pounds at 50% body fat, then you have the protein consumption of a 150 pound person, point blank. And you will want to do that because then we're talking about caloric deficit and stuff like that, which it really doesn't mean anything, but we're just talking about feeding your calorie and making sure that we hit the baseline. And so then you're going to be losing, depending on if you're not spiking hormones at a particular time, and you will be converting body fat, triglycerides, proteins, carbohydrates pretty efficiently. So your body will be using everything because the main purpose then is to get over obesity so that you don't have any chronic diseases or have a heart attack or die from anything else like that. So as you can see, I'll go a little bit more in depth. If you have any questions, contact me. Protein consumption is different for different people. It's different for different races. It's different for all particular spectrums of whatever it is that you're trying to do. There's calcimate, there's isolate. Those things are released different. You can get BCAAs. I'll feed myself BCAAs so that my protein consumption can go to recovery and that my protein, my organ functions and stuff can function at the level that they need to function at. And that's why I use BCAAs, because that's what proteins are broken down into. So there's a lot of different combinations. So keep those things in mind. And I hope that answers the question to the people that ask me about protein consumption, macro dieting, and micro dieting. Once again, my name is Lamont Gilchrist. Thanks.